All right, folks, welcome to your Calc Chapter 5, first half, Part 1 exam review video. Here are the answers, going to come pretty quick, so pay attention, folks. You're going to have 8, evaluate each indefinite integral. No bounds means you have that constant. Don't forget about the constant of integration. Checking to make sure that looks all right. All right, anyway. Remember, it's 1 power more, divide by that power, okay? Should write 6 over x squared as 6 times x to the negative seconds. Add 1 to the power, divide by negative 1. There we go. And number 3, pretty self-explanatory. Raise it to the third, then divide it by 3 as such. Don't forget about C, don't forget about C. Square root of x is x to the 1/2 power. 1 power up is 3/2, then divide by 3/2. To divide by 3/2 is to multiply by 2/3. We know that. It's just some algebra. All right, when I take the derivative of cosine, I get negative sine. So the antiderivative of negative sine is a positive cosine. Then I have to do the opposite. So if I took the derivative of 2x, it would be multiplied by 2. So the antiderivative, I would divide by 2. That's our answer. Don't forget about plus C. The derivative of sine is cosine, so the antiderivative of cosine is sine. If I were to take the derivative of 1/3 x, I would multiply by 1/3. So here, I'm going to divide by 1/3, which is multiplying by 3. Don't forget about C. It's another great question. Here, now folks, 3 over x is like 3 times 1 over x. The antiderivative of 1 over x is natural log. That's why it's 3 natural log x. 8 over x to the third is negative 8x to the third. 1 power more divided by that power. You got to FOIL baby FOIL, and then take the antiderivative. All right, so that's a good one there. Let's take a look at the next page. The next page, so becomes you're taking that antiderivative, which I did not do. So that should be then, listen up here, folks. No pencil handy here. It would be 2ln x plus 1/2, or it'd be x to the 1/2 divided by 1/2, which we know would be 2x to the 1/2. Then on the next one, it would be a plus x to the negative 2 divided by 2. All right. Then what, plus C? Anyway, solid work there for getting to finish that one. On 10, again, that's a good one to practice. On 10, here we go. That is the antiderivative. We should rewrite it. 1 power more divided by that power. 1 power more divided by that power. We did that one in class. This is a great one. Hint, hint, wink, wink on 12, which I believe we did in class. It's just, e to the negative 6x. Then instead of multiplying by negative 6, I would divide by negative 6, and then so forth there. All right, clean it up, clean it up. Next one here, the antiderivative of cosine is just positive sine. Instead of multiplying by 1/2, when I take the derivative, I would divide by 1/2. All right, next one. There we go, folks. We talked about that hopefully a little bit. Again, pause this. We did talk about this one in class. I wouldn't worry too much about this one, though I do like 13 and 14 are great. This is also another good one. Write what it is, then 1 power more divided by that power. Okay, negative divided by negative is a positive. 16 there, you're only going to have 8 tomorrow. We're going to skip a few. All right, velocity question. If I want to know displacement, and I'm just going to take the integral from, in this case, that should be a 2, and that should be a 3. Going to integrate big F of 3 minus big F of 2. Should get 11. Okay, here's 44. From 3 to 6, going to integrate that velocity function. Now, this is mostly trying to do in my head, so could be some errors here. You get the point, though. You know how to do these. And then 45, going to integrate from 1 to 3. That velocity function, again, could be some boo-boos. Check it. There you go. Good luck. Then the last one, you definitely need to know how to do this. Something like this. That's acceleration. To find the velocity function, it's just the antiderivative. You have that constant of integration. If you know v of 0 is 5, then you know c is 5. And then this one right here, c is -4. Oh, we do have these. I'm sorry. This is actually your first two questions. Talked about these in class, and in fact, here's 48. If I don't give you anything about f prime of x, then you have to first write it as c, then as cx, and then you have another constant of integration, so plus d. So 48, that's the answer. 49, you begin with this, with that good info. Okay. If you know f prime of 0 is -2, then c is -2. Then you take the antiderivative again. If you know f of 0 is 3, then you know d is 3, and that is your final answer. And I believe lastly, we have 52, which requires a little bit of work. F prime of x is that. Take the antiderivative. You don't know anything about f prime of 0, so you take another antiderivative. So when you take the antiderivative of c, it's cx plus another constant of integration, d. If f of 0 is 3, then you know d is 3. Rewrite what I have. If f of 1 is 8, when your answer is 8, when y is 8, when x is 1, so figure out what c is. I believe it's 2/3. And then plug that in for c. Notice how c has an x attached. All right, so this would be your final answer. Folks, that is part 1. Those are the answers. Practice, practice, practice. This is the Aquamath video, signing out.